All right, so we're going to Harlem finally, huh? We got an ice cream order going all the way to 125th. You know, like... Hello, pick up for John. Cool.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. All right, so like I said, we're going all the way to 125th. This is like the heart of Harlem. 125th is Martin Luther King Boulevard, I think. Yeah. So we're gonna go up there. It says about, I don't know. It says about 14 minutes or so, but we'll probably get up there in like 12. The Commander, is it better than the Sherman? I would say no. For a couple reasons. It could actually be better than a Sherman, but they did a lot of mistakes. First of all, let me talk about the good thing and then I'll talk about the other things. So the good thing with the Commander is the shelling, the casing. It's very compact. There's no pieces sticking out. So what I mean by the shelling, for those of you that don't know anything about EUCs, is this black part, right? The black part, you can't really see it here in the dark. But basically the shelling, right? It seems pretty robust. It doesn't seem like cheap plastic. I mean, it's plastic, it still breaks, but it's not like the Sherman, for instance. The Sherman, the biggest weak points on the Sherman Max, I could say without a doubt, I have like probably 20,000 miles on the Sherman Max, is the shelling and the trolley handle system. The trolley handle system breaks so easily on the Sherman. It's ridiculous. And so does the shelling. If you drop the shelling, because basically there's these little hooks on the Sherman Max, my other EUC, that hooks onto the roll cage. It's like a dumb design, bro, because if you drop your EUC and it lands on one of those plastic hooks, it's like guaranteed to break the plastic hook, and it keeps that bar open, or it keeps the roll cage up. So if those hooks break, the roll cage is going to be loose. It's going to be flopping around. So now I gotta, you know, it's just so easy to break. So that's what makes this better, is the shelling's better, more robust, it's stronger. I think, you know, it's not holding up any like roll cages. So if it falls, you know, nothing's going to flop. It's not going to break. I'm not going to have to, all that shit. So that's a plus comparing it to the Sherman Max. The other plus is the trolley handle. The trolley handle's not perfect on this, but I can tell you right now, there's been a lot of complaints about the Commander trolley handle because the button sticks, but it's not really that big of an issue. I'll show you what I mean here. But like, there's a button on here. You can't really see it because it's black. But there's this button right here that it can stick. But it's not really an issue for me. It doesn't really stick. It's not really as bad as people made it seem on the reviews. The trolley handle, let me turn this thing around. The trolley handle is thicker than the Sherman. It's more robust. Like, you don't feel like if I'm trolling it around and I lean the unicycle to the side, it doesn't feel like it's gonna break. Like with the Sherman Max, if I lean the unicycle to the side with the trolley handle, it feels like it's gonna break, and sometimes it does. It's so cheap. With this, it doesn't feel that way. So the trolley handle's better than the Sherman, and the plastic's better than the Sherman. Huge plus sides, especially the trolley handle, because I probably bought 6 or 7 of these fucking trolley handles for the Sherman, because it breaks all the time. This, it probably won't happen unless it drops with the handle, with the thing up. However, there's more downsides than there are plus sides. The downside is a headlight. It sucks. It's crappy. You don't really get a good beam. And even worse, when you accelerate, it points down so you can't see ahead of you. Dumb design. With the Sherman Max, you can adjust the headlight. So if you go forward, it doesn't point down as much. And the unicycle, when you lean forward on the Sherman, the pedals don't dip as much, go forward. So that's a negative, one negative with the Commander, comparing it to the Sherman Max. And once again, these are competitor wheels. They're basically twins, right? They're like opposite, you know, like cousins and shit, basically. Like they're competitors. So it's a great comparison here. What's the other downside? Oh my God. A huge, one of the worst downsides of the whole thing is the firmware. The firmware, they never bothered to update the firmware on the Commander. Like, this is the stock firmware, it's never changed. Almost all EUCs get updates in their firmware because they update the wheel, they update the firmware. Is everything. Firmware can change the pedal dips in the wheel, it can change the acceleration, it can change the speed, it can fucking change the way the lights work, it could change everything. It could change how it reads the battery, it could change. It's so important is the firmware. And they never bothered for, when this thing was released, a $4,000 wheel. This is what gets me. They released this wheel for $4,000 and they never even bothered the firmware. Dumb. With the Sherman Max, I don't know how many updates with the firmware they've had. So the Sherman Max kicks its ass in firmware, which is so important, so important. I can go more into that, but let's just say I find it very negligible that the company would do that. But hey, that's be good for you. That's the kind of shit they do. Other than that, like, it accelerates good. You know, it's good in all that regard. This is the high torque version. So it's the high torque version. It's more torquey. They have the high speed version where you can go faster, but I'm doing food delivery. I don't really care about going too fast. I think high torque on my instance is more important because, like, if, for instance, if I'm in traffic and I need to speed up real quick so I don't get hit by a car, I can have that high torque. I don't have to worry about being overpowered, you know, even though it's a very big motor. I'm sure the high speed would probably be okay too. But the downside with the high torque is you don't go as fast. And from what I understand, you know, it's advertised at 45 miles per hour, but I personally haven't gone over 32 yet. I did hear a beep one time. Anyway, I don't want to get into that too much, but I think the Sherman Max is better when it comes to speed and shit like that. Like, it's very hard for me to hear the beeps on the Sherman Max. So what happens is the wheel will beep. It has an alarm on it. If it feels overpowered, if the battery's low, if you're going too fast, it'll give you a beep as a warning. It is so rare to hear. I don't think I've ever heard the Sherman Max beep on me unless I hit a bump going real fast. When you hit a bump, it messes with the shit and it beeps. But I've heard a beep on this just riding. So this tells me it doesn't go as fast as a Sherman Max. I feel, I don't know for certain yet, I'm still kind of new with the wheel, but I feel like this thing, it can beep easier. It might be the settings as well. It could be the way the settings are with the firmware and shit. So maybe I can change the settings in the app as far as like the alarms and shit, which I can do. I can't change the firmware, but I can set. Anyway, so the other thing is the fan. Super loud fan. The fucking, it overheats pretty easily. Not bad to where it like shuts off the wheel, but it just gets hot. Like the motherboard area, because there's not a cooling system. There's a way to mod that, but it requires drilling holes into the top, and like it's not something I technically want to do. And during the winter, this is probably a good wheel to have because, you know, if it stays warm like that, it's kind of better for it actually in the cold, compared to the Sherman. So yeah, the motherboard is hotter, way hotter than the Sherman, and having a hot wheel is not a good thing. It's not good for the components, all that. There's that. I'm coming up to the drop-off now, so I'll talk more about some more of the quote-unquote cons of this wheel. So coming up right now, this is 124th. This is not 125th, like I said, but drop-off's over here. So the other issue, which I haven't experienced this one yet, but the fucking lights just turn off. And like this one's not turning back on for some reason. Usually you can do a free spin of the wheel and the lights will come back on, but it's not working now. There we go. See that shit? See how fucking ghetto that shit is? See, the wheel was on, right? But the lights weren't on. That's some BS, bro. And the way that you fix that is you got to free spin the wheel, which I just did. Why does that happen? Supposedly it's like, some people say it's the auxiliary board and some people say it's a daughter board, whatever the hell that is. Let me go to this pickup. I got another order, and sorry I didn't record that drop off, but the GoPro, something happened to the GoPro, just technology shit, man, Jesus. But yeah, we got another order over here, going to the other order. But as you saw there, the fucking lights just go out. Either the headlight goes out or the screen on the EUC goes out randomly. And the way you turn it back on is you got to free spin the wheel, which I just did. And some people say it's a issue with the daughter board, whatever that is, or the auxiliary board. And believe it or not, it's actually quote unquote something that happens. It's like a feature. It's a horrible word to use. But begode wheels, right? The whole history with begode wheels is they put more, I don't know, they have a history of this weird shit, right? But yeah, so that's another downside. I even forgot about that. And that's another thing with the firmware is if they even I think that they could fix that in the firmware probably. But they didn't even bother to fix it. This wheel's been out since 2022, not one update. And so it's just negligible, bro. It's just like, you got these huge issues with this shit. The fucking lights are going off in the dark, right? And then you gotta like do all this shit to like turn the lights back on. It overheats, right? You could probably fix that in the firmware, maybe, I don't know, probably not. But just all these things, right? And like, do a fucking firmware update, you know? Not one firmware update. But the thing about the lights turning off and stuff is it's not like a safety thing unless your lights go out and you can't see. But it doesn't like, it's been around forever. It's actually a known thing that this happens with this wheel. So the wheel's not gonna cut out, it's just the lights turn off for what, it's like a bug or whatever. And so you gotta free spin the wheel, but thankfully it doesn't hurt the wheel in any way. You know, I'm not gonna crash my EUC as far as I know. There's been no reports. It's just a thing that happens. It's like a known thing. Pickups over here. It's a taco place. Pretty popular actually. Sure, we're in East Harlem, by the way. It's a popular little spot in Harlem. So yeah, I'm gonna watch my wheel like a hawk, always do. Thank you. What I do, I just turn sideways. I watch it from my peripheral. Hello. Let's see. Yep.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Take care.
You too. they try to give me an add-on with Uber for like $2.30. I was like, nope, decline. They give me an additional 8 minutes, but if it's just so low, I'm just like, dude, it's just probably more hassle than it's worth. Drop-off's about 5 minutes to the west. Yeah, so the fan's really loud with this thing. Also, it rattles the fan, and it's not like it's not broken. It's just that's how all the Commanders are. Like the fan's not like attached tightly, so like it rattles. Like you could feel like when you first get on this thing and you've never rode it before, it kind of feels like it's it's rattling a little bit, but very, very, you know, it's not like a deep like but you can feel something in there. And if you didn't know it was the fan, you might think there was something weird with the motor, but no, it's the fan. Just another thing, I mean, you can fix that too. It's just like, it's actually an easy fix. Like, they built this wheel, right? And they didn't even bother securing the fan. It's just, so, there's probably other things with this fucking wheel. But other than that, I mean, it sounds bad, sounds like a bad deal, but those are like, the only thing, the big things, in my opinion, is the firmware and the lights going out, but it's more the firmware. Because if they just fix the fucking firmware, they'd fix so many issues. That's the main downside that I personally don't like about it. Everything else, as far as like the acceleration, awesome. The speed's good. I don't think it's as good as the Sherman Max. This is the high torque version. I don't know. I haven't gone higher than 32 miles an hour. Yeah, it's lighter than the Sherman for sure. The Sherman feels bulkier. Like I feel like I can whip this thing around a little easier. The range is amazing. That's the one thing I might beat the Sherman on, is range. For instance, according to Darkness Bot, not according to the screen. Usually when I look at the screen on the Sherman is how I know the distance, because there's like a miles thing on the Sherman. That's not GPS distance, that's wheel distance. I don't know, I guess there's a difference. And I've never seen the distance on Darkness Bot with Sherman Max. I always look on the screen, but on Darkness Bot with the Commander, like for instance, I can like get 60 something miles and still have like 40% fucking battery, which is good. Really good. And there's some instances where it really feels like you can beat the Sherman as far as distance. Like this was probably, when it came out, it was the Sherman Max and this wheel for like some of the longest range EUCs. And this wheel basically was like the top. It was the longest range EUC, even beat like the Monster Pro. I guess, I don't know too much about the Monster Pro. So like the range on this thing is fucking awesome. And those are my biggest things. I want range, I want a little bit of speed to keep up with traffic for food delivery. And I want reliability, right? Not too reliability when it comes to the lights, but there hasn't been any like long-term issues that I know of with the Commander, and it's been around since 2022 on the community. So it fits my bill, and for the price, it just makes sense, you know? So overall, for the price and what this wheel offers, I feel like I got a deal. Like, I definitely got a deal. It was in great condition. Came with the tubeless tire, the spike pedals, good condition, low miles. For $1,300, great fucking deal. Exactly what I wanted. I wasn't expecting to buy another wheel anytime soon, but the deal was so good. All right, here we go. Got a double. Damn, we're going all the way up there. All the way up there. So far, I don't even know like where the fuck that is. So we're gonna do it. All right, you guys are gonna see me go. Said something wrong. Hopefully I accepted it, but it said something wrong with that order, so maybe we won't go up there. Let's find out. Anyway, drop-off's right here. Thank you. Done again. Let's see, 6. Okay. Coming up. A guy let me in the building. Yeah, listen to that fan. But yeah, overall, I mean, even with those things I said, for that price, it's a good fucking deal on this thing, dude. Good deal. I'm happy with the purchase. I don't regret it at all, especially for that price, dude. And it's what I needed is another long range wheel. Yeah, I rang the doorbell. It was a meet at door order. They weren't coming, so I just left the food at the door, left a message. And it looks like that order didn't come through. Something happened with that order, so looks like we're not going all the way up north unless we go to order going up that way. But I'm gonna try it. So right now, we're in Harlem. We're in Harlem right now, right above Central Park. I'm gonna try to go back down here. Although I could go to Brooklyn. The thing with Brooklyn, okay, we got a 7-Eleven order, hell no. It's Popeyes going up north, see if I can get that. This is the matching order. Oh, it says it was taken, oh well. I didn't take the 7-Eleven order because usually 7-Eleven orders are like heavy ass liquids or beer. It's like really heavy IDs, hassle, but we'll see what happens. And when they released this wheel, like I said, it was like the most expensive wheel, and it's had all these issues, you know, the lights, the fan, the firmware, the shit going out with it. And they resold it for $4,000, way overpriced, unfinished product. All right, we're going up north, way up north. Way up north. I'm gonna take that double going way up north. So far up, I don't even know where the fuck that is. Let me see. Where is this? I think it's like Harlem Heights or something. Washington Heights. Washington Heights. We're going way up there. All right, let's go. It's a double. But yeah, they had all these issues and they released it like for that price. It's just, I mean, that's good for you, bro. That's just what they do. And because of that, and because they came out, it was a competitor with the Sherman was like cheaper. It didn't have all these weird firmware things. It didn't have any like unfinished business, like as far as the lights and the fucking fan. And it was, the Sherman Max is like the third iteration of the Sherman, the OG Sherman. So it was even a refined product. This is like the first batch of the Commander. And so the Sherman just kicked its ass as far as sales. Everything about, and when I first got this wheel, I thought maybe it was as good or better than the Sherman. But of course, after experiencing everything I experienced, nothing really bad, but I'm just saying like those things, those negatives I talked about. When you compare it to the Sherman, especially at the price when it came out, I mean, the Sherman just kicked its ass in popularity, and like so much so that this wheel like came almost like a second, like an overthought, you know, like a afterthought. They released around the same time. It was more expensive, this Commander. It had more issues. And the Sherman Max was already a popular item with a refined third edition. And so it whooped its ass. The next wheel that Extreme Bull came out with was the Commander Pro, which I had, which I no longer have. And once again, that wheel came out with some weird things about it. Fuck, I'm going the wrong way here. Should have went this way. Let's go this way. While this wheel is pretty good, you know, it just has those little things about it. It's just the way it was released and the price and all that. Like Sherman whooped its ass and it stayed that way. And it's like Extreme Bull limped back in its corner, its first release. It limped back in its corner, came out with the Commander Pro, had some issues with the Commander Pro, kind of fixed that. So yeah, this wheel wasn't very popular. Yeah. So now with all that said, you guys kind of know the history, what's going on with this wheel, all that, why I got it, all that shit. So do I think it's better? What do I think? Sherman Max, since I own that, or the Commander Pro? Obviously, with everything I said, you're gonna get a better deal with the Sherman Max. But I mean, this wheel's still good. It's still great. So yeah, the Sherman Max wins on. I mean, the Sherman Max is more expensive now because what happens? No one buys this fucking wheel. They drop the price, right? I'm just talking when it first came out. I'm sorry if I'm boring you guys right now, but whatever. Yeah, the Sherman Max is a better deal overall. It's probably a better wheel. Now, if they fix the firmware and they fix those little easy ass things to fix, the fan, well, the lights aren't too easy to fix, but the firmware is probably kind of easy to fix. I don't know if it has a Bluetooth feature to fix the firmware. I don't know. But if they just fix the fucking fan and the firmware, just the firmware mainly, this wheel would be even more competitive. But it's like they just gave up. They just like, fuck it, you know, the Sherman Max whooped our ass. Let's just limp away and work on our next project. It's kind of the way I look at it. All right, here's a pickup right here, Harlem Shake. I've never been here before. A lot of the places up here I haven't been to because I don't go up here that much. Yeah, for Caitlin. What the fuck? Yeah, so we just got that order. All right, so let's go to the second pickup. I don't know what it is. Oh yeah, the other thing is, I'm pretty sure if so the button and the power button is right here. You hit it once, the lights come on, you hit it again, you get that flashing light. But if you hold it, which I'm not gonna do, the wheel turns off. So technically, if I forget and I try to turn off the lights and I hold it, maybe it'll cut out on me. Which is another thing they could probably fix in the firmware. So let me go ahead and verify this order. With the Sherman, there's 4 different buttons on the Sherman. You got the headlight, you got the power button, you got all this shit for the other stuff. So that's even better on the Sherman as well. So this next pickup is way up north. It's like we're going all the way to Washington Heights up here. So you can see, this is Manhattan. Usually I'm down here, but we're way up here. So we're gonna go all the way up here. It's for the next pickup. It says about 18 minutes to the north. Pizza Hut, okay. So as far as going to Washington Heights, I think I've only been up there like once before to do a delivery. So this is my second time. I don't know where I'm at right now, but I'm really not gonna know where the fuck I am when I go up there. So let's go. See, I don't know where I'm at, but thank God for GPS, right? Can you imagine trying to do this job with a fucking map, dude? Like an old school fucking map. Could you imagine that? It would not be worth it. Because I don't know where I'm at, and like I said, thank God for GPS. I like these places. Look at these shows. Cool, right? This way.
That game would have been so clutch, man. Holy shit. Wow, man. Oh.
Here you go. Thank you. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. I just completed that. Next one, way up here. Yeah, like I said, that weird little spot. It's actually in this area. Inwood, I think is what it's called. It's weird. It's weird up here. I don't know. I've been up here one time. I had to do a delivery. I'll show you when we get up there, though. But I'm using my external GoPro, check, because I'm too lazy to get my backpack with the food on there and switch out for the other mic. So we're just gonna use this for now until I drop off this order. Yeah, so this is where it gets like kind of weird up here to the left. I don't know how to describe it. It's like the end. It's like the tip, but like.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Dykeman Street.
All right, you can shut up now. Let me look at my map because I want to make sure. I don't know. I remember because like it's this, right? And I have to like go this. Oh, there's a bike lane right here. Okay. Well, that makes it a little better. But yeah, it's like a little hill right here at the end of the island, or at the tip, the top here. Oh, this shit's cool, bro. Look at this. This is. I thought this was abandoned. Look at that, bro. You probably, I don't know if you can see it, but it's fucking cool looking. Yeah, so I've been up here one time. I did a delivery. This is literally the farthest I've been up. I'm not even sure if I've been up to the Bronx, dude. And the Bronx is very, very close. Like, there's the Harlem River right in front of us. I hope you can hear me. But yeah, the Harlem River is like right in front of me. If I cross that river, I'm in the Bronx. I don't know if I will get orders that takes me to the Bronx, but I will go to the Bronx if it takes me to the Bronx, but we'll see what happens. This is cool though, right? See, I'm going downhill, so this is where you want the light to be. It's like actually in front, because I'm leaning back to keep it at a certain speed. I'm leaning back to brake a little bit right now, so that's why the lights are up. But yeah, that was that hill I'm talking about. This is cool. This is a cool area. I like this. They got a billiards right there. All right. Got a billiards over there. I keep saying that. This is a train station. You probably go over here and it probably takes you over the water to get to Brooklyn. This looks like a little hot spot over here. Little popular area. Yeah, this is a hot spot. These motherfuckers probably ain't used to seeing EUCs up here, I bet. No one, even in Manhattan, people don't see these things that often. It's a cool old building over there. Says I gotta go over here. Oh, this is a cool area, bro. Here's another hot spot. Oh shit, the glass. You can tell this is a hot spot coming up. Got a hill right here. Kind of a hilly area. Got another order coming in. McDonald's. Just take it, fuck it. Yeah, these things take hills like no issue, bro, by the way. Drop offs over here to the left. Where are we at here? .616 West 207th. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh. I just got a text from the customer, said that they're coming. It's cool, right? I like these places. Look how that shit looks badass, right? Food delivery? Yeah. Okay, got you. Yep. It's all good.
Yo, can we take a picture? Can we take a picture now that we're here? I'm gonna post it because we're with it. Yes. Oh my God. No, another piece of them.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, and all that fast. Damn.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. They said they put 2 of them in that big one, so because you got a 3, right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, cool, no problem. All right, switch out my mic. Okay, but yeah, like I was saying, I don't know if you guys heard me, but I like these areas, bro. Like when you get to like Brooklyn and like places like out in the boondocks. It's not really boondocks, everywhere's popular here. But like Brooklyn, Queens, like places like that, you find buildings like this that are kind of like it's just a cool residential looking, like it's just badass looking. Look at this shit. You got fucking lions and shit up here. It's sweet, dude, I love that. Great architecture, bro. But yeah, you go out to like Brooklyn, and what I've noticed in Brooklyn is they have, it's like buildings that used to be warehouses. And so you go in and it's really big, but it, like they transformed it into like a, like the lobby's really big. You can tell it used to be like a warehouse, but they made it into like a residential. And those places look so fucking cool. It looks kind of lonely actually, but it looks cool at the same time. How's it going, bro?